I would like not to go into personalities, but I would like to address this thing. If God was interested in who becomes the head of the Ogboni fraternity, the Christian God, the Jehovah Almighty, then I will say, why would God want me to be a celestial? Why doesn't He just leave me to be a member of Ogboni? So there is a dichotomy. Is Arian Okakamfo following the Bible for his life? Has it been weaned over? When I say weaned over, W-E-A-N-E-D, like you wean a child. O-N, by a revival. Has he given his life? Has he become born again? Now, if I'm to go by what I saw, he entered the church like a full-blooded traditionalist. And people have compared that with a king. And I wonder why. I know Obatejo Osho, who is a born-again Christian. I personally got to the palace of the late Oni of Ife, Obashijuade, on the day that the Full Gospel Businessmen's Fellowship was launched in his palace. I read the testimony of a pastor who recorded that at his revival, Oni Shijuade gave his life to Christ. I don't have any record of Chief Danny Adams giving his life to Christ. So I'm wondering, what's his place in the church? People will say we're Georgian. But I had an experience many years ago when one man in this country was head of Ogboni fraternity, chairman of Adamu Orisha, also head of the British and Scottish Lodge of a Brotherhood. He was a good man to me professionally as a journalist. And one day I was in his office. He's late now. God bless his soul. And he offered me money. I said, "Uncle, what's this for?" He said, "No, it's not bribe. You're not doing any work for me. Just take it." Then as I said thanking, as I was about to leave, he said, "Do you know I can make you very rich?" Then I sat down again. I said, "How do you mean, sir?" He said, "All you need to do is come and join our fraternity." But being a journalist, I had researched into his life. I knew all the titles he combined. At the time also, he was chairman of the Boys Brigade of Nigeria, which is a Christian organization. And I looked deep into his eyes. With respect, I said, "Uncle, you alone, you are this, you are this, you are this. Are you not afraid that you will not make heaven?" I had finished saying it before I thought, wow, Cage, you've gone beyond your bounds here. I was expecting him to deal with me. But you know, his head fell into his hands like this. He kept quiet for like 7 to 8 seconds. He didn't remove his head. Then you know what he said next?
What's up?
He said, "My son, it is too late for me." Now, this is a man who was given a chance to go back to God. And he said with his own lips, "It is too late for me." I'm a servant of God. I'm a minister of the gospel. This is a personal experience. So I wonder how another man of God can say that God is endorsing the same manner of life. Danny Adams should not be in a church thanking God. He should be in a church giving his life to God. Then I will respect the man of God that broke him down for God. Before the encounter in church, Gani Adams was in Ijo Orunmila and the Church of Christ, they are not the same. Something else that worries me is that on social media, the flyer for Gani Adams' Thanksgiving in a Celestial Church, the flyer for Gani Adams' Thanksgiving in Ijo Orunmila, and the flyer for Gani Adams' Thanksgiving in the Central Mosque were designed by the same person. If you look for those flyers, they were designed by the same person. So I'm asking myself, was the designer a Celestian? Because the design was exactly the same. And that same person had the pictures of Gani Adams and the man of God. So it leaves a lot to desire. However, I cannot blame anyone right here because our seniors in the church, and I'm not talking of Shaddai Ministries, I'm talking of the Celestial Church of Christ, they have watered down the respect we should have for them. Because now we're in a dispensation where some people who are in this business for money are not in the business for salvation. They are going about with bodyguards that are OPC. Gani Adams is the head of OPC. I have nothing against OPC. I have nothing against Gani Adams. But I don't want a situation where people now begin to confuse the church with the mosque and the church and the mosque with the Ijo Orunmila. Like paganists and animists, they have maintained their respectable position. Any man of God will give them their due regard. But for them to want to come and pollute the church, then the custodians of the church must take a second look at themselves. You're a pastor, you're carrying a gun around. You're a pastor, your bodyguards are carrying guns. Then you should really ask yourself, are you in the right business? You're a pastor, your bodyguards are OPC, who protect you with charms. You should ask yourself, what happened to your anointing? So without meaning any disrespect to anyone, I am saying there's a reason Jesus took the cane and flogged some people out of the church. And we should all be very careful that we don't fall in the same position. Otherwise, we can take it to anywhere. God is flogging people already unless they go back to God.